At Metro PCS, we let the numbers do the talking. 4. Enjoy a reliable 4G LTE network that's faster than Sprint. 2. Get 2 free smartphones when you switch to Metro PCS. 99. The percentage of people in the U.S. covered by Metro PCS. Get 2 free Samsung Galaxy J3 Prime smartphones when you switch. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro PCS in past 90 days. Coverage claim based on talk text coverage. Speed claim from downloads. See store for details, terms, and conditions.
This is No BS Job Search Advice Radio. I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome to episode 725. I'm called the Big Game Hunter because I used to hunt down leaders and staff for organizations for more than 40 years, and now I coach people to play big. And on this show, I talk with you about, well, it's a question someone asked about whether it's okay to take notes. I hope you find this show helpful. And in addition, I hope you get curious enough to follow me on Facebook. My page there is, well, you can look for Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter on Facebook, or the direct page is facebook.com/no BS coaching advice. And if you like the page, and start following me there, you're going to get a lot more information daily from me. Plus, also have access to the archives of other things that I've posted on it. Join a few hundred people there, and I can answer your questions directly. Again, facebook.com/no BS coaching advice. Now let's get going. And this is a question that shows up from time to time. I've avoided answering, I should say, but I just thought we'd address it today because to me it's very simple. And the question is it okay to take notes during the interview? Let me ask you this. If a hiring manager constantly looked down at his desk to take notes, how would you feel about them? Would you think that they were paying attention to you, cared about you, or were they focused on the note-taking process? Answer, not number 1, not number 2, but number 3, focused on the note-taking process. And so it really is for you as well. If you're staring at your pad, if you're constantly looking down, taking notes, there's a problem. And if you don't ask if it's okay, that's rude. So if you're interested in taking notes, if you want to jot down a few things, the best thing to do as you sit down and ask some questions, I have to do it this way because of my single best question you should ask on any interview. So you sit down and you ask them that single best question you should ask on any interview. And then from there, you say, as they're about to speak, would you mind if I took down just a couple of notes? I promise I'm not staring at my pad or iPad the entire time. And once they say sure, only a couple of things. You can't make it seem like you're taking dictation. If you're working with an iPad or some other tablet device, you can't start to whimper at some point if you start having typos in what you're doing. You just have to let it go and correct it later on. Experience tells me that when I've been interviewing someone and they're taking notes, I really don't mind as long as it's not the prevalent part of our conversation where they're looking down and sending me the message. And, again, understand that everything you do or don't do communicates something. I want you to hear that again. Everything you do or don't do communicates something. So if you're taking notes, well, you want to be accurate. That's great. But if all you're doing is taking down notes, it basically suggests, does this person have a memory problem? Are they even listening to what I'm saying? And then worse than that, you're not connecting with the interviewer. You see, interviewers want to feel like, and I want you to hear that magic word, feel like they're dealing with a human being that they're going to interact with once they're on board. They want to like you as well as believe that you're competent. Often if what you're doing is staring at the pad, the iPad, the device, an actual stenographer's pad, whatever it is, you're not paying attention to them. You're not giving them eye contact. You're not smiling. And if you are smiling, you're not looking at them when you're smiling. And that just takes away a lot of power. So if I were just looking down here, taking notes the entire time of this conversation, you'd have a feel for me that, is kind of weird. And that's the issue with note-taking. So again, number one, start by asking the single best question you should ask on any interview. Watch that video on YouTube, please. Number two, then go into, is it okay if I just, as they're starting to talk, would it be okay if I just took down a couple of notes along the way? I don't want to make any mistakes, and if it's a problem, I certainly won't do it. Number three is don't be fixated on the note-taking process. You need to be fixated not just simply on great answers to questions, but on connecting with the interviewer as a human being. So that's today's show. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, here are a few ways that you can connect with me. The first one, of course, is reach out to me on LinkedIn. My page there is linkedin.com/IN/The Big Game Hunter. Mention that you listen to the show because I love to hear from my listeners. It just puts a big smile on my face. Next, if you're an executive and interested in my coaching you, email me at jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. Mention in the subject line that you're interested in coaching. I'll reach back to you. We'll set up a time to speak. We'll figure out whether this makes sense. I want to be clear. I'm not here to be your recruiter. I no longer do search work. I'm a coach helping people find their next position. And as such, my work is not free. I'm not doing this as a charitable endeavor. I'm here to see whether I can help you and whether your background is something where I can be of service. And if you're not an executive, the best place to connect with me is with JobSearchCoachingHQ.com. That's my site where I've curated information that I've created and other people have created. It's there with their permission, of course. And you can ask me questions. So right now there's over 400 pieces of content there, plus the ability to ask me questions. So again, JobSearchCoachingHQ.com is that site. And by the way, and I haven't really mentioned this on the site, in addition to doing job search coaching, I also do executive coaching and life coaching. And I've done so for years. So if you're interested in that, message me again at my email address, jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. Tell me about what you're interested in, and I'll get back to you and we'll talk about it. Hope you found this helpful, and in the meantime, have a great day. Take care.
Progressive presents Mindfulness with Flow.
Before you lies a beautiful meadow. In that meadow, Progressive Direct has placed its auto insurance rates alongside those of competitors. You select the lowest rate and feel a great sense of calm. A great sense of...
Compare Progressive Direct rates with competitors' rates so you can rest easy. Visit Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.